So my friend ghosted me after I bought a $1,600 plane ticket to Warsaw. Who does that? I am going to show you some of the most shocking and inspiring things about Krakow, Poland. By the end, you're going to think this is the ultimate guide to Krakow. Promise you that this heartbreaking story is going to have a conclusion that will inspire you on the inside to better explore the outside. So be sure to subscribe to my channel down below. You'll find all the juicy details that I know you culture trekkers love in the e-guide on my website in the description box below. So let's dive in on this 30 things to see with your ultimate guide to Krakow. So I just arrived at Krakow Airport and I'm going to take the train into the city center, which you get one of these tickets and you can pay cash or card, but it says to be very careful in paying with your card. So I just went ahead and paid with cash. I recommend getting some foreign currency so it's easy to exchange. And then this airport is very quiet, but I'm gonna head over to the train and keep you updated. I'm so tired. The train station was pretty easy to find, but I had forgotten one very important thing. I left my passport at one of the information desks, so I'm gonna go get it. It might be important. The train station drops you off at the local mall, and then I made my way to my Airbnb. It was pretty easy to find and not that long of a walk. I think it was at this point that I realized that I wasn't going to hear from my friend, or ex-friend now. And I kind of went into this deep dark hole of poor me, and I thought this is going to ruin my trip. I took a nap, and when I got up, I put my big girl panties and I went out and started to explore Wawel Castle. This is part of the royal way to the castle, which rich merchants and nobles once lived. The town was gorgeous, and I was a little disappointed to see they were setting up for an event of some kind. But Church of St. Mary's, Cloth Hall, and Old Town Hall were quite stunning against the golden sunset. Cue local musicians, please. So after walking down the royal way, I just was still trying to find that energy, and then these people started breaking out into song, and I thought, wow, this is amazing camaraderie and manliness all in one. And music has always been a soft spot in my soul. It just brings real peace to me, so I thought it was a great gift from the universe. And what better way to see, you know, something that an artist pouring their heart into something and being very carefree and giving that gift to the people around them, not knowing the effect that they would have on people. So hearing them sing that song, it really renewed this desire, this wanderlust inside me to go out and start exploring again. As you look around the square, you'll notice that Town Hall actually leans 2 feet to the right, and underneath Town Hall is the head of Eros. He is said to represent the god of love, desire, and lies, and the bandages over his eyes and mouth are supposed to represent a broken society. Planty Park is the green area surrounding the old city of Krakow and took the place of the moat in the old city walls. Wawel Hill is where it all began, next to the Vistula River, inhabited since the year 1000 AD. I didn't get a chance to see Wawel Cathedral, but definitely make time to see it as the oldest part of the castle. The treasury and library are also located here, and important artifacts to the country. Lost Wawel is under the present Wawel Castle, and the remains of the 10th century castle are still present. Sandomierski Tower is where the court members who did bad things were kept. So I guess this is a reminder to mind your P's and Q's. There are always local festivities on the weekends surrounding Wawel Castle. My favorite part was actually the sunsets by the Vistula River. So what I really loved about Poland, especially Krakow, was that they have this beautiful pot of folklore mixed with traditional historical facts, just this messy, beautiful, abstract painting almost. The part that I really fell in love with Krakow was actually the tale of the dragon underneath Wawel Castle and how the Polish kings came about. Bronislaw Kroni sculpted the dragon next to the Vistula River. The legend says the dragon was spotted after children and sheep began to go missing. Following the dragon back to its cave under Wawel Castle, there were the bones of animals and human skeletons. King Krak called upon 3 valiant knights, all who died, and offered half his kingdom for someone to kill the dragon. A shoemaker's apprentice asked to see the king. He asked for a chance to slay the dragon with some sulfur, pitch, and sheep. He sewed these together and sewed it in sheepskin. The dragon ate the sheep and naturally became upset to his stomach, so he drank some water from the Vistula River, and boom, no more dragon. The shoemaker married the princess and became the ancestor of the Polish kings. So I think it was in this moment, sitting by the Vistula River, watching the people pass by and just appreciating the beauty of the sunset, I was able to kind of box these feelings up from this crazy betrayal of a friend, I thought was a friend, in a very healthy way, in a very healing way, and I gave it to the sunset, and I let the beauty of it as it set below the horizon take it with it. And I think it helped me find that release, to be able to appreciate the people, to be inspired by this war-torn city that shows so much resilience in the people, in the rebuilding after World War II, and that release from the hurt allowed me to explore life and this city exactly as it should be. I might be invisible to a lot of people, but it also allows me a lot more freedom to explore. Basilica of the Virgin Mary. This was a spiritual center of the market square. It played an important role in the Mongol invasion during the 12th century that is still commemorated nearly 700 years later. A sentry saw the Mongols coming. He played the "Hey now" warning on his trumpet, and a Mongol arrow pierced his throat, killing him instantly. So on the hour, 4 times a day, the song is played, and the last notes are not, all to commemorate this event. Because the church is where the noble families and the wealthy merchants would go, it is beautifully decorated inside. The medieval times, they encouraged these nobles to pour their money into the church, essentially to buy themselves a ticket into heaven. I was shattered I didn't get to see the crown jewel of the church though. It requires a ticket to see, but it was said to be the finest example of Gothic wood carving in all of Europe. You can only see it with a purchase ticket when they open the altar doors at 11:50 a.m. except on Sundays. The altarpiece was carved in the late 14th century by the German sculptor Weizsäcker, who lived and worked in the city for over 20 years. During World War II, the altarpiece was stolen and taken to Germany. It was so damaged after being brought back to its home in Krakow that it took years to repair it. Now it sits gracefully in this church in all its splendor. Because Krakow was the gateway between Prussia and Europe, it became a trade hotspot, especially for cloth. Make sure to check out the museum underneath where they recreated the medieval stalls where they once sold cloth. Adamowie Mickiewicz is a famous poet to Poland and a central meeting place for tourists and locals. Krakow is a very safe city. It's also quite random. For example, running into this rollerblade-a-thon, weirdest experience I've ever had. So after I ran into this rollerblade-a-thon, I realized that you have to grasp onto these little gifts that life or fate or whatever you want to call it throws at you. Because when you grasp on and appreciate these little spurts of happiness and randomness that the universe has, it truly makes you appreciate the beauty between the lines of the contrasts of life. I'm right here. Woohoo! Oh! First time I've been in a roller skating traffic jam or traffic crosswalk. I don't know what this is, but it's pretty cool. There are a lot of really easy day trips that you can take from Krakow as well. Here are a few of my favorite. Auschwitz was incredibly haunting and actually gut-wrenching, and working in the medical field, I've seen a lot. I really enjoyed the salt mine though. Gdansk was another highlight, as well as Malbork Castle. I made the trip too quick and had to head back to Imperial Hotel for a little bit of downtime. I always try to end my trips on something a little bit more relaxing, closer to the city center, so I can go out and explore easily at night. Be sure to check out the cloth stalls and now hold souvenirs, and then I suggest getting some goulash from Bana Lokal. It's a local hotspot, especially for the younger crowd. After dinner, I headed to bed so I could get up early the next morning to go see St. Florian's Chapel and Gate. It's part of the Royal Route. And I ran into some local artisan markets along the way. I headed back to the hotel to grab breakfast, and then I was really sad because I didn't get to see everything I wanted to see, but here are a few of the last things that I did have on my itinerary that I highly suggest that you go and see. I was so sad to leave Krakow in Poland. I truly felt like I did not have enough time to appreciate these inspiring and shocking different things. I would say give yourself at least a week in Krakow and then a week in the other cities that I mentioned to be able to adequately explore. Slow travel is always the best travel. I really hope you enjoyed this ultimate tour of Krakow. If I missed anything important, please leave it in the description box below. Make sure to tickle those like and subscribe buttons. If you want the e-guide to this, it's on my website in the description box below, and don't forget to follow me on my social media channels. Enjoy the little things in life until our next adventure. Bye.